Before we start, do you have any question before we start with problems? Okay, I posted for you some sample problems and I will go over them. In the first problem, using least square regression, find a quadratic fit of for f function of v after deriving the terms of the matrix system. So whenever they ask to derive a method, we derive the general expression first, then we apply to the problem. So here we have data points for velocity and force. And we want to try to express the force as function of the velocity. And here they can ask you for a linear fit, they can ask you for a quadratic fit, a fit to the power 3, 4, whatever is, the technique is the same. Okay, so as usual, since here I want a quadratic fit, this means that we want to simulate f as function of v with a second degree. So we can say that the fitting function is a0 plus a1x plus a2x squared. If they asked for a cubic fit, then we just have to add here plus a3x cubed, etc. Okay, so just make sure to determine y fit depending on what they ask you for, and then the technique is similar. Yani whatever is the function, the technique will be the same. You want to determine your coefficients. So here you have three unknown coefficients when you have a quadratic fit, a0, a1, a2. And in case it was cubic, then you have, instead of 3, 4. And larger is the order, okay? You have more unknowns and you should write more equations. And the equations that you should write to find these coefficients, what are these equations? Based on what you will write your system? What is your purpose?
Derivative.
Yes.
Minimizing.
Exactly. You want to find the minimal error. So you should have the derivative of the error with respect to these different coefficients should be equal to 0. Okay. So here all we have to do then is to define the error first. And as usual, the error is y minus y fit. Okay. And since we have data points, so we can we have at each point we have a certain error. So we can compute EI as yi minus y fit I. And then we define based on the least square regression as I asked for. So we will define the summation of error square. Okay. And then we have to develop this term. Okay. So we have to develop this term and then derive with respect to a0, a1, and a2. You can develop it, you can keep it as it is, and then when you do the derivative, you derive this complex function. So you say here, when I want to derive, for example, let's say with respect to a0, we already did this in class, we name this function u, and we know that the derivative is 2u prime. And here u prime is -1 because we have minus a0. Okay, so you know all of this. So all you have to do now is to write the equations del SR by del A0 equal to 0, del SR by del A1 equal to 0, del SR by del A2 equals to 0. And in case it's order 3 or order 4 or order 5, you have to add equations. Okay, and then once you put these relations, you can deduce your system. Okay, and you can put it in form of a matrix. So you have the matrix of coefficients here. As usual, the unknown are a0, a1, a2. And in case, let's say you have a cubic fit, you have a3. If you have a fit to the power 4, you have a4, etc. So now, based on the equation you wrote here, you should determine in each equation what is the coefficient of a0. You put the coefficient, for example, if we want to determine the third line here, we go to the third equation and we say, what is the coefficient of a0 in this equation? If we simplify -2, since it's equal to 0, then we can see that for a0 is multiplied by summation of xi squared. Okay, also the minus, we can take it outside. Okay, so you have summation of xi squared is multiplying a0 for xi you have for a1 you have xi times xi squared, so it's xi cubed, and for a2 it's summation of xi4, which is xi squared times xi squared. And then once we determine all of these coefficients, we derived the method. Okay, now all we have to do is to apply it on the problem that is given. So here's I gave us data points. We can apply the general form we derived on the data points given. So you should know the method, then whatever they ask you for, you will be able to do it. It's always the same procedure. So to write the expression of y minus y fit, to find the expression of SR, and then deriving with respect to the coefficients. Okay.
دكتور هيك you consider it انه we derived it، يعني خلاص ما ضروري نكتب لك كل الستبس، مظبوط؟
بدك تكتب نيكولا once you write these equations, yes it's fine for me. يعني بس
دغري في اكتب لك
دغري فيك تكتب الماتريكس. Yes, because you can deduce it directly here. يعني the idea is هلا if it's not very clear for you like this, you can expand. يعني you can write here for example.
ايه ما انا سؤالي انه ضروري فرجيك الاكسبانشن او لا. اوكي ديل.
فيك ما تفرجيها بس مهم تكتب هول الاكسبريشنز. Okay. In case you find needed, you can write the expression. يعني just you have to take these terms to the other side. يعني إذا قلنا شلنا minus 2 and we took these terms to the other side. Okay. شو بيضل عنا؟ بيضل عنا مثلا هون summation of xi square times yi اللي هو الريزلت إذا بدك. Okay. Equals to هول الثلاثة terms رح يروحوا للثاني مال، يعني الماينس بيصير plus. So you have summation of xi square times a0 plus when you do xi square times xi, it's xi cube plus summation of xi cube times a1 and plus summation of xi to the power 4. Yeah, in this way it will be clearer for you, so you can do it. But if it's clear for you in this way, you can keep it. I don't mind, but I just want to see the derivation. Okay.
Okay, dear. Thank you.
Doctor?
Yes.
كل السميشنز والسولفينج تبع السيستم فينا نعمله على الكالكوليتر صح؟
Yes, you can do it.
إنه ما لازم فرجيك إنه بالأساينمنت بيحطوا تيبل.
هلا you put a table and you summarize the result in the table. Okay.
ضروري احط تيبل يعني او فيني دغري احط على الكالكوليتر؟
لا, you need to show the table. Okay. يعني you need to put the column for هلا يعني don't worry about يعني I will not give you a lot of points.
هاي سؤال يعني.
Yeah, the number of points will not be very large. And you should show the table with all information needed. And you should show the column for xi squared, for xi cubed, for xi4. But of course, I will not give a lot of points.
Okay, والسيستم فينا دغري نحلها على الكالكوليتر او
Yes, for the system, yes, because as you are not responsible of the it's not cumulative, so you just have to solve on the calculator the system. And I might not ask for the solution. Maybe I will just ask you to write in matrix form. Then you don't have to solve for A0, A1, A2.
Okay. Doctor,
Thank you.
Yes, you stop here. If I didn't ask you to find the coefficients, you can just stop here.
Doctor, بس الكالكوليتر بس solve for 3 unknowns. يعني انت
don't worry. No, اكيد ما حجيبكم for unknowns and to solve it. No.
Okay, dear. Thank you.
Welcome. Yes.
Concerning the multiple linear regression وقت كنا multi variable.
Yes.
بالPowerPoint بس عطيتينا like quadratic fit. ممكن يجي أكتر بالمulti variable كمان.
Of course. It's Seema.
Yes.
It's always the same method, Seema. Whatever is the order I give you. Yes, you just have to add a variable or two variables, depending on the number of variables I ask for. But the method is exactly the same. You just need to understand the method. Then whatever is the number of variables I give you, you just have to add a term, and just that's it.
Okay.
You add a term and you add an equation. You derive with respect to the new coefficient.
Same procedure. Okay.
Yes, of course.
دكتور بس بتشابتر 20 الانتجرالز ما فينا نحلهم مثلا، يعني انت الاجوبه انت بتعطينا هن اذا 4 coefficient او 3 coefficient، بعدين بالانتجرال اذا بدنا نحلها
Yes.
يعني بس يعطونا الانونز ونجيب الاكس 1 اكس 2 اكس 3 ونرجع نعمل لهم ريبليس باف اوف مثل الاكزامبل بتشابتر 20.
Yeah.
نحن مش مسؤولين كيف نجيبهم صح؟
No. You are not. You don't have to memorize them even. قصدك ال coefficients C0, C1, C2, A0, A1, A2.
ايه
Yes.
صح.
كيف بدنا
You
نلاقي
don't have to
C0, C1
memorize
C2.
them. You don't have to
ايه
memorize
بس
them.
ساعتها ما فينا نجيب الانتجرال نحن.
I give you these coefficients. If I want you to use the method,
يعني بتطلب منا
I
بس
might
نكتب
ask
لك
you to derive.
equations وانت
I might
بتعطينا.
ask you. I can tell you. Write the system of equations needed to find these coefficients. Okay. And after this, I tell you, knowing that the solution of this system is 1, 2, 3, calculate the integral.
اوكي زين.
Okay.
Professor,
Yes.
when you say h raised to 4, the error of order, and then you say it's third order accurate, what do you mean? مش هي it's h raised to 4 so خلاص fourth order accurate?
No, look, you mean for the methods, for the different methods, the expression of the error?
Yeah, and h raised to 4, error
Okay,
of
look.
order 4.
And okay, look, whenever you have a method, okay, to know the order of error, first you look for, whenever we define trapezoidal or etc. Okay, first we talk about the order, if you want, before h. For example, for the trapezoidal method, let's say it's proportional to, the error is proportional to f second. Then what can you say here? You can say that this method, okay, can only give accurate result for linear cases, because for linear cases, what will be f second? F second will be equal to 0. Okay, and you have first some terms to say that a method is accurate to the order up to order 3 or 4. This means that it can compute exactly the integral for x cubed, for example. Okay, but whenever I talk about the order, feel accuracy or feel order of the error, it means it's proportional to h to the power what? When I tell you it's order of h squared, this means that the error is proportional to h squared. When I tell you the error is of order h4, the error is proportional to h4. So you have first the proportionality between the error and h, and you have a second term which is related to the degree of accuracy depending on the order. Okay, and if I tell you, for example, the trapezoidal method can give me exact results for second degree equation, you will tell me no. Why? Because you have that the error is proportional to f second, and whenever you have a second degree equation, f second will not give you 0. Okay, so you have two terminology if you want when we talk about the error. It's proportional to what? h squared, h to the power 4, etc. Plus it will be able to give me accurate result up to which order of the polynomial equation. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Other question?
دكتور أنا عندي سؤال بالسيمبسون. أنت بس قلنا إنه ال H ب 3 over 8 بتنقسم باي 3، بس مش دايما باي 3، لأنه إذا كان عندنا مثلا إذا أنت أعطيتينا 9 segments نحن بنقسمها ل 2 ساعتها بنستعمل فيها 1 over 3 و 3 over 8 صح؟ مثلا 4 و 5.
هي نحن وقت عملنا derivation لل 1 over 3 اوكي كانت على اساس if we are doing it اذا بدك single Simpsons. اوكي بس عملنا interval واخذنا 2 segments، بس نحن وقت تكون composite ساعتها بنعمل مثل هلا بنعمل example، نعمل accumulation وبنصير نشوف new coefficients. بس هي ال 1 over 3 ليش بيسموها 1 over 3؟ اذا انت بتعمل السنجل derivation، هلا حاعملكم اذا بدكم حنعمل هلا الديريفيشن لها هون. اوكي you will have always 1 over 3. هلا we'll do it in a while. اوكي
بس سؤال اذا عندنا segments 9 segments فينا دغري نستعمل 3 over 8؟
ايه اكيد
لانه لازم يكون multiple of 3.
انت قصدك الكومبوزيت صح؟ you mean the
composite.
composite.
بس استعمل ايه انه ال H مثلا ساعتها بنقسمها divide by 9 مش divide by 3 يعني ال B minus A over 9
يس انت اذا بدك
وما
تكون
ضروري.
وقت انت تكون سنجل اريا بيكون في 3 سيجمنتس
مم.
بس بال 3 اوفر 8 بس يقولوا لي كومبوزيت يعني بس يصير نمبر 9 مثلا يعني صار عندك اذا بدك مجبوره تعمليه عده مرات يعني you are using the composite method.
اوكي بس ما ضروري ساعتها اقسمها اصلا اذا 9 ما فيها اقسمها بعتقد بلا 6 و3 فيها
فيك
اقسمها يعني
فيك
استعمل فيها
تقسميها
1 over
وفيك
3.
لا فيك تعمليها هذيك الميثود صح بس هي شو الفكره ليش الفكره انه السيمبسونز 1 over 3 هي بتعطينا same order of
Even.
accuracy بينما with lower يعني with simpler computation اوكي هون عم بس احكي باوردر اوف accuracy ليش عن هي powerful Simpsons 1 over 3 لانه Simpsons 1 over 3 is using a quadratic fit يعني عم تستعمل اذا بدكم polynomial of order 2 بس قدرت تعطينا exact integral يعني عندها accuracy تبعها of the order شو 3 لانه نحن برهنا انه هلا قلنا انه you are not responsible of the derivation بس الايرور بينت بالسيمبسونز 1 over 3 proportional to f force مزبوط
اوكي يعني هي
بينما
of
نحن
order 4
عاده الاكس سكوير بما انه هي عم تعتمد على function x square كان مفروض تكون proportional لاف شو لاف
طول.
third بس
ايه
برهنا mathematically انه هي proportional لاف force يعني هي قدرت تعطينا accuracy more than expected
نحن مسؤولين نحفظ هودي الفورمولاز تبع الايرور تبع كل وحده
لا
ولا
انتم
لا؟
مسؤولين تعرفوا هول القصص بس مش تحفظوا الفورم يعني مسؤولين تعرفوا انه اذا proportional لا absurd يعني اذا انا فيني اسالكم انه Simpsons 1 over 3 Simpsons rule can give exact results for equation of order 3 لازم تعرفوا تقولوا yes لانه هي proportional للفورس derivative مش للثيرد derivative
يعني هي بعد الفورس ما بتقدر تعطينا بس فورس ونزول بتقدر
صح.
تعطينا
يعني هي اذا عندي x to the power 4 ما بتعطيني exact integral بس اذا عندي x to the power 3 بتعطيني exact integral
اذا اوكي يعني اذا x to the power 4 ما بتعطيني exact بس اذا x to the power 3 بتعطيني exact
صح
اوكي
مع انه هي
وال 3 over 8
3 over 8 بتعطيني الاكيورسي الاكسبكتد يعني 3 over 8 بتعتمد على polynomial of the order 3 صح والايرور
صح
proportional مثل السيمبسونز 1 over 3 لاف 4 بس الايرور اقل يعني هي اقل بس كبروبورشناليتي هي ذاتها يعني بتعطيني f proportional to f to the power 4 فبما انه الاوردر هو ذاته مزبوط انه هي more accurate 3 over 8 بس كمان اصعب من ال 1 over 3 so بما انه ال 1 over 3 عم تعطيني advantage انه I am gaining one order of accuracy it's good to use it it's a powerful technique يعني هي less computation و high accuracy
اوكي بس سؤال ال 3 over 8 اي order of accuracy
نفس مثل ال 1 over 3 يعني up to
أوكي.
order 3 يعني x up to order 3 اذا عندي x 4 ما بتعطيني exact integral
وبالكومبوزيت تبع ال 1 over 3 بعدين بقلبها غير الاكستريمز يعني الاكستريمز بوينتس بتصير 4 2 4 2 باخذهم صح وهيديك باخذهم 3 3 3 تايمز 3 من برا اوكي جي
صح
ثانك يو
welcome
دكتور
yes
انت قلت هلا لل 1 over 3 ال order of accuracy هي 3
yes يعني هي بتقدر تعطيك exact integral up to a polynomial of order 3
مش
يعني
قلنا
أنا-
انه هي order of accuracy 4 و we gained 1 order of accuracy لانه هي it's expected to be 3 انا ذاكره
لا.
هالشيء
لا هي no look هي شو الفكرة انت وقت تقولي ال order of accuracy 3 شو يعني انا اذا بعطيكي انا x cube اوكي اذا عندي function مثلا 2x cube plus 3x etc اوكي السيمبسونز 1 over 3 مفروض ما تعطيني يعني اذا انا بس بدي اتكل على هي الفانكشن لها هي x سكوير السيمبسونز 1 over 3 ما مفروض تعطيني exact integral للاكس كيوب صح لانه انت you are using a function that is quadratic to compute an integral of order 3 بس mathematically هن ثبتوا انه الايرور is proportional to f to the power 4 يعني هي بتعطيني exact integral for a function x3 cubic function اوكي مشان هيك انا عم اقول انه هي الاكيورسي تبعها of order x cube.
اوكي
اوكي بينما
أوكي.
الاكسبكتد هي الاكسبكتد accuracy هي تكون of order x square، بس لانه mathematically برهنا انه هي الايرور تبعها proportional to f to the power 4. اوكي then we can deduce انه هي it can give exact integral up to a function polynomial function of order 3. اوكي
يس
اوكي
دكتور عندك شيء سامبل المالتيبل تشويس انه true or false؟ لانه بالبريفيوس ما في.
نيكولا صرتوا تعرفوا الستايل. اوكي صرتوا تعرفوا ستايل الكويستشنز.
يس بس قصدي لهدول التشابترز يعني، بس شوي نتمرن نكون فاهمينه.
طيب هلا برجع بحط لكم.
دكتور true or false ولا MCQ حيكون؟
بليز
لا true or false مثل العادة.
اوكي.
اوكي
دكتور نحن بدنا نعرف الديريفيشن للسيمبسونز او انه بنحط لك بس الانتجرال تجاوبه؟
هلا انا هون بهذا البي دي اف حطيت لكم الديريفيشن. انتم ليكوا you should know how to do it يعني. هلا اكيد اذا شيء very complex ما بجيب شيء طويل يعني، هون هيك طويل شوي 1/3 بس you should know the idea يعني. I might ask just مش to solve for to write the system allowing to reach 1/3. هلا حنعملها سوا. اوكي
اوكي.
Professor,
yes
نحن for Simpsons 3/8 we
Yes.
always used n equal to 3 never 6 or 9. أنا ولا مرة حلينا هيك وهو هيك بيجي صح؟ يعني دايما we do it with n equal to 3 ل 3/8.
فيها تكون composite. ما انت look انت مش صرت تعرفي تعمل composite method.
Yeah, for
ساعتها
the
انت
1
بتركبي
over.
يعني مثلا شو عملنا مثل بالترابيزويد. اوكي احنا بالترابيزويد شو عملنا؟ قلنا انه عادة بيكون عندنا let's say a certain segment. اوكي اذا بناخذ السنجل 1 شو بيكون عندنا الكويفيشنتس؟ بيكون بس عندنا 1 صح؟ وقت جينا عملنا composite method شو بيصير؟ بيصير كل point is common to two segments. That's why بيصير كل البوينتس in between 1 و 1 بيعطيني 2 صح؟ والاخر بوينت بس الاكستريم بوينت بضل كويفيشنت تبعهم 1. نفس التكنيك بكل هوليك يعني. انت بس يكون عندك composite method you can do a small scheme تشوف البوينتس الكومن بين السيجمنتس شو بيصير الكويفيشنت تبعهم. يعني you can apply composite 1/3 you can apply composite 3/8 etc.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Now, for example, هذا problem is close to a problem I gave you in the assignment, but here we asked also for derivations. And Anna, if I tell you, for example, compute this integral using single application of the trapezoidal rule after deriving it. If I tell you to derive a trapezoidal rule, all you have several ways. Okay. The easiest way مين بيقول لي شو هي؟ What is the easiest way to come up with the formula? انتو بالcourse material مطلعين لكم اياها للderivation based on انه we do we compute that we are considering a function ax plus b. Okay, and this function is passing by the extreme points. خلينا نسميهم cx plus d لأنه we have a and b هن the extreme points. So you have a, you have b, you have f of, you have f of b. Okay. So the first method is to say, I want to come up with the expression for the integral. The easiest way is to say, what is the integral for a linear function? It's the area of a trapezoid. Okay. And how can I compute the area of a trapezoid? I just have to say, I take the average base, اللي هي FA plus FB over 2 times the width. So the easiest technique to derive the trapezoidal method is to say that the area under a trapezoid is equal to the average base times the height. Okay, and if we apply it here, we'll get FA plus FB over 2 times B minus A. Okay, or the second method will be the following one. We say the straight line should pass by points A and B. Okay, so I can determine the coefficients C and D based on this, because when you have 2 points, you can get an equation. And once you get the coefficients C and D function of FA and FB, you can say, I can perform the integration of this function to find that the expression will be exactly the same one, which is FA plus FB over 2 times B minus A. We already did this method in the class, and this is another method I'm giving you now. Okay, so this is the derivation for the trapezoidal rule. And now, if you want to use the composite method,
دكتور
how we yes,
الجاوس كوادراتشر تعتبر derivation ولا لا؟
الجاوس quadrature إذا بدك هي particular case لما يكون عم باخد البوينتس هن الاكستريم، بينما الجاوس quadrature ما بتاخد الاكستريم points، بتاخد any points in between. يعني بالجاوس you have additional 2 unknowns, because not only you are searching for the coefficients C and D, but also you are searching for the points. يعني you are choosing points in between and not A and B. يعني صار عندك you are searching for x1 x2. okay, كم unknown صار عندك؟ x1 x2 C and D. It's Ahmad?
Yes, yes,
okay.
yes.
So you have
Sure.
four unknowns here بالجاوس بالليجندر method, while here بالtrapezoidal you are taking the extreme points. يعني A and B are fixed. You don't have to search for these 2 points. You just have to search for the coefficient C and D. Okay.
Okay, yes.
And now, when I ask you to derive the trapezoidal method, you can do a small figure, just a small figure saying that if I do the single method, okay, the coefficient of this point is 1, and for this one, it's also 1. Okay. On the other hand, now if I do the composite method, all points in between I will have to add their coefficients. Yani, the common points will have coefficient 1 plus 1. So I will do the same for all, if you want points in between, I have to do 1 plus 1. And just for the extreme points, I just have 1. This is why for the composite method, I have, let's say, fx0 plus 2 times fx1, etc. Okay, until the point just before the end one, yani let's say 2 fx n minus 1. And finally, the final point will have a coefficient of 1 plus fxn over 2. So this is the composite method. So the composite method is really easy to derive. All you have to do, okay, is to sum the coefficients of the points in common between the different segments. Okay.
دكتور
Yes.
الالفا 1 والالفا 1 الفا minus 1 هودي بنجيبهم نعمل اول شيء A plus B minus A over N. تاني وحدة اللي بالنص بنرجع نعملها times 2 بنرجع نعملها times 3 من جوا، صح؟
ما فهمت إليا السؤال. Can you repeat?
يعني لنعرف النقطة تبع الفا 1.
بس شو قصدك بألفا 1؟ X1
يعني
you mean?
مثل ما كنا عم نعمل هون. ايه.
Okay. Yes. If you
Okay.
want to search for x1, x2, يعني you mean how to write the 4 equations?
ايه ساعتها مش بنجيبهم مثل ما بتعملي كنت هون A plus B minus A over N، وإذا
No.
بدنا X2 بنرجع بنجيب
no هيدا الشيء، هيدا غير شيء تقلك.
مش الاكستريم.
ايه انت اذا بدك تنبشي على x1 x2 اوكي، ليكي شو لازم نعمل؟ لازم نقول انه نحن شو هدفنا؟ Our purpose is to determine location of 2 points. Okay. Any way to be able to use a linear function to compute the exact integral for a higher order polynomial. شو يعني؟ يعني نحن إذا بنستعمل trapezoidal rule إجباري تعطينا exact result بدها تكون الإيكويشن أو constant أو linear. بس إذا الإيكويشن second degree إجباري يكون في error صح؟ لأنه ساعتها بنقول إنه accuracy of the trapezoidal method is of order 1 لأنه هي proportional to f second. اوكي بينما وقتها نحن we can select the points مثل ما نحن بدنا ل x0 x1 نحن we can force then this linear function to give exact integral for a higher order. ليه؟ لأنه أنت صار عندك flexibility before unknowns مش بس ب2 يعني صار عندك unknowns ال coefficients يعني because what you are doing is the following. You are writing y okay as c0 times fx0 plus c1 times fx1 يعني أنت هلا عم بتنقي عندك 4 unknowns. You can write 4 equations. So you want to search for c0 x0 c1 and x1. شو هن هالايكويشنز اللي فيك تحطيهم؟ أنت أول شيء you can first هيدا linear equation أكيد will give you exact integral إذا عندك constant function. أوكي؟ يعني أول equation بيطلع لك إياها هي إذا عندك to compute integral for a constant function. أوكي؟ تاني equation بيطلع لك إياها هي when you compute the integral for a linear function. بس أنت هلا بس كتبتي 2 equations بس how many unknowns you have؟ 4.
فبدي 4 equations.
فبدك 4 equations يعني منشان هيك شو حتكون ثالث وحده when you compute the integral exactly لx square واخر وحده when you compute the integral لx cube. منشان هيك بنقول انه نحن when we have the freedom to select x0 x1 we increase the order of accuracy of the integral لانه we'll be able then to compute exact integral up to the order 3. اوكي بينما trapezoidal rule لانه مجبوره انا بالاكستريم بوينتس يعني ما بقدر اعمل exact integral الا for order 1 for linear functions and constant function اكيد.
ايه بس انا قصدي بقلب السيمبسون رول يعني لجيب مثلا انت بدك تعطينا اياها ب 4 segments بدك تجيب لي جوا يعني مش الاكستريم معي هن بيكونوا الاكستريم تبع الانتيجرال.
اوكي انت السيمبسونز 1 over 3 يلا هلا رح نعمل بنعمل اوكي دي خلينا نعمل derivation للسنجل نرجع نعمل derivation للكومبوزيت. اوكي اول شيء هون طالبين منا نعمل derivation للسيمبسونز 1 over 3. انتوا اذا انا بجي بسالكم هذا السؤال بالاكزام كيف فينا نعمل derivation للسيمبسونز 1 over 3 هي شو فكره السيمبسونز اصلا؟ What is the idea of this? مش إنه we are computing نحن عنا function, okay? We are trying to compute the integral of this function using a second degree equation, صح؟ وهيدا ال second degree equation بدها تمرق بأي points؟ بدها تمرق بالextreme points وبالmiddle point, صح؟ لأنه مش نحن بنقسم إذا نحن عنا b minus a. مش we divide this segment by 2. يعني عنا we divide this segment by 2. This is b minus a over 2. Okay. So now the idea is the following. نحن بدنا ناخد function. The function should pass by these 3 points. Okay? So these 3 points should satisfy the equation of our function. يعني نحن we are trying to replace the function fx by another function f2 of x. Okay? and this function is of second order. Yani we can write it because it's a second order, because it's proportional to x squared. Okay, then we have to determine three coefficients: a0, a1, a2. So f2 of x will be of the form a0 plus a1x plus a2x squared. Okay, then now how can we determine what are a0, a1, a2? We should go back to the basics of the method. This function f2x should pass by these 3 points. Yani we have 3 points that should satisfy this equation. The first point هو شو الcoordinate له? A f of a. Okay. So the first equation we can write is that f of a is equal to a0 plus a1 times a plus a2 times a squared. Okay, this is equation number 1. The second equation we can write is by saying that the second point, what are the coordinates of the second point? The second point is at the middle of the segment. So you have as coordinates a plus b over 2. Okay, and we have f of a plus b over 2. And the third point is this one, okay? And the coordinates of this point are b and f of b. So it's really simple as concept. We have 3 unknowns, a0, a1, a2. To find these unknowns, we need to say that the function is passing by 3 points. So the 3 equations are obtained by just substituting the coordinates of points 1, 2, and 3. You will tell me the solution is complex. Yes, you are right, but I might just ask you for this. What I want you to know is how to reach this state. The solution, if I want you to solve, I can give you a numerical example maybe, because it's really complex here. But for me, what is important is to write these 3 equations, to know how to set your system. So your system of equation, in order to get the 3 unknowns, a0, a1, and a2, is just to say that the first point should pass by the equation should pass by the first point, the second point, and the third point. And these are the 3 equations, and this is a linear system because you have data points. You can calculate FA, FB. These are numbers. Okay, so you have a linear system of 3 unknowns, a0, a1, a2. Here, when we don't have numbers, it's really a little bit a lengthy solution. But
دكتور
yes.
هيدا هلا نحن قبل الديريفيشن مسؤولين عنها، كيف نقول لك كيف نجيبها، ولا فينا دغري نكتب لك الفورمولا؟
لا، ما انا فيني اسالكم to derive any method earlier. Okay, you should know the concept of the method, how we reach this method.
دكتور طب فيك تعيديها للفكره بليز؟ لانه ما فهمتك كثير.
Okay, sure.